Hi, welcome to Chris Cook For You Too. Today we're going to be doing ribeye steaks, and I have 4 steaks here that I'd like to show you. Ribeye is the next cut to your T-bone steak and your porterhouse steak. So it's not as meaty as your T-bone steak would be. It does have a large amount of marble that runs through it, and it also has the little strip of fat that's along the end. But this steak can be just as tasty as your other steaks if you know how to cook it. So I'm going to show you that. A lot of times this particular steak will roll. When you cook it, it'll roll and it takes like an arch. So to prevent it from doing that, you just take your kitchen shears and you cut a little opening in the fat, because what that does is it keeps the fat from causing it to roll up like this one would do. So you just take your kitchen shears, clip a little hole. And if you don't have kitchen shears, that's okay, you can use a knife to do it. Now, we're going to season these steaks. Of course, you wash your steaks and then you let them towel dry, or you can dry them on a paper towel, or you can let them sit out until they're dry. So I'm going to show you the seasonings that we're going to use on the steak today. If it has an overrun of fat, then you can just clip that off. Okay. Now, we're going to be using Worcestershire sauce, garlic and onion powder. I love garlic and onion powder on steaks. It has a little bit of chives in it as well. And we're going to use some black pepper with a little bit of crushed red pepper. And of course we have our salt here. The first thing you do is you pat just a little bit of the Worcestershire sauce on each one of your steaks. Now what this does is it brings in the flavor that you would probably already have in your T-bone and in your porterhouse. It brings in that flavor. Then when you pat that on, then you just go ahead and add your seasonings. So we have the onion and the garlic with a little bit of chives, and we're putting it on all 4 of the steaks. We have some salt, but you got to keep your hands clean. Put it on each 4 of the steaks. And of course we have our black pepper with a little bit of crushed red pepper in it. Put that on your steaks. Now this makes for a good and tender steak. So we're going to do the same side as we did that side. Now when I finish doing this, I'm going to allow these steaks to rest for about 15 minutes before I put them on the grill. So we'll get back to that. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. Now we're going to go out to the grill. Okay, as you can see, my charcoals have already heated up, and I'm using a charcoal grill because I just love charcoal grills. So we're going to put the steaks down. And you only saw me with 4, but I have a large number of steaks because I do have company over tonight. So, and we were able to get them all down on the grill. Now, with the steaks, as you can see, the steaks are cooking up, and I brought out a pair of tongs because you don't want to pierce your steaks. If you pierce your steaks, then the juices will start to flow, and we don't want that. So I'm going to let these just cook on this side for a few minutes, and then I'm going to get back to you when we get ready to turn them over. It's been about 8 minutes, and I think that the steaks are ready to turn, so I'm just going to turn the steaks over. And remember, I told you that's a good example of seeing how they roll if you don't cut them in the right place. See how flat that one is? So we're just going to go back, since they're still in the cooking process, I'm just going to go back and cut that little piece of tender part. Now, I do have and I'm not piercing the meat, okay? Now, I do have my shears out here, so since it was only on one side, you can still save the steak. Just flip it. Just cut it and let it go down. See where the leader is picking up? See what I did? Just cut it and it went straight down. See? And that's all you need to do. So that was a good example of how this process actually works. And again, I'm cooking with a charcoal grill, so it's a little bit different than cooking with your gas grills, but I like the flavor that comes from the charcoal grill. Thank you. When they're done, we'll get starting to take the steaks off the grill, and as you can see, I already have some of them in the pan. Some of them will need a little bit more cooking time because they were so much thicker than the others, but these basically are ready to come off, and I like my steaks to be medium well. I don't cook them all the way down to well done. So I'm just going to take one of these steaks, which is this one. I'm going to leave these two, the other two on the grill, and I'm going to cut this steak for you and just show you how this meat actually came out. Now, I'm in my backyard, as I told you, and I just want to cut a little bit of this steak. And as you can see, it is medium well. This should be a good cut of meat because it's been cooked down on the charcoal grill, so you got the smoke flavor that's running all the way through the steak. You got the juices that are still there, and I'm going to take a bite. Man, if you could be here to enjoy this, this is really a good steak. So that's all we have for you today. We're cooking on the grill. Chris cooked for you too.